Hello and welcome to another exclusive review with me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube with the number one reviewer of theatre in the UK and Las Vegas online. This week we're in my hometown of Nottingham at the Theatre Royal, this glorious Matcham Theatre, for the greatest pantomime of them all, Cinderella, or as they call it, the fairy godmother of all pantomimes. This year's cast, well, is epic at the Theatre Royal. It's huge. It's packed with Gareth Gates, Les Dennis, Conor McIntyre, Sutty and Richard Cadell. The show is a kudos spectacular. It's incredibly loud. In fact, I would argue too loud in places. But it has two key elements that are stunning this year. It has the flying horses, which are breathtaking for the kids, and it has Richard Cadell, who steals the show with not only his magnetic personality, but some wonderful magic that I just loved seeing in this year's panto. It's in fact quite rare. Few pantos celebrate the variety act of magic, and it's bizarre why not, because it's born to be in panto, and it was fitted in beautifully. Headlining the company this year is Les Dennis and Conor McIntyre as the Uglies in Cinderella, and they are two acting legends who in the second act particularly shone. However, unfortunately, the two biggest routines, or bit of shtick that they did, the first being the apple routine, which by the way we've seen several times, simply wasn't funny. This wasn't their strength, whereas in Act 2, pushing the story forward at 100 miles an hour, they were magnificent. Gareth Gates has a charming voice as the prince, although to be honest really doesn't get to shine in this show. Sutty is of course the big star, instantly lovable, and worked from behind magnificently by Richard Cadell. One of the funniest bits of theatre I've seen in a long while is the big cups routine. It's an old magic act, of course. This guy, let's talk about Richard Cadell. I mean, he is just magnificent. He's got the energy of the Conleys and the Pasquales, but he's also got the blessing of having grand illusion, and they were done superbly. There are three beautiful routines in this show that are worth the ticket price alone. Oh, ticket price, we must talk about that at the end. The fairy godmother was played by Kimberly Blake. This lady has an incredible voice, but then again, she's going to having starred in Phantom in the West End. Talking of West End shows, Hannah Grace Lawson is a perfect Cinderella. I'm blown away by Hannah. We met her at the press launch, and of course she was cute and delicious. But had she got the personality to pull off this quite specialised role? Well, I've got to tell you, she has. She sings like a bird, and she's utterly charming throughout. Special nods to Dan Deeney, Jack McNeil, who I just think is one of the most enchanting panto stars in the country. He looks like he 100% wants to be there, which is half the job. But he's got this magnetic smile that the kids love, the mothers love, and just makes for panto gold. Congratulations, Jack. The ensemble work hard, and the babes from the Theatre Royal Company make this a wonderful production. I have to say the writing is very good. There is a lot of story in this show and less shtick like previous years. However, there is a bit of smut in it, which I just find unedifying. There's quite a few arses in the show, and of course it's rammed with double entendre, some of which is a bit grubby. Just unnecessary, really. And when you've got a star like Richard who's driving the whole thing comedically, you don't need it. Musically, kudos give it all bells and whistles with 5 in the pit. And a fantastic track. As I say, I think it was too loud, especially in Act 2. It somehow seemed a lot louder. Don't know whether somebody had told them to turn it up, but I think in these days of all-inclusive audiences, you've got to be a bit careful with that. Congratulations to the twins for the horses. Again, it's just a beautiful finale to Act 1. Guy Unsworth's direction in this show keeps the show moving at 100 miles an hour. Some lovely choreography too by Fabien Aloise. Very modern, I liked it. Looks very slinky. The costumes in this are okay, but they're not actually spectacular, believe it or not. The Uglies are nice, but they don't get big laughs. And they're a bit low rent compared to previous years. There is no doubting though, there's tons of laughs in this show for the kids. It was so great to hear them laughing louder than ever. By the way, you might get moist during the show. Bring your Mac. There are some really beautiful moments in this pantomime. Also, I applaud the producers for keeping in the he's behind you, she's behind you. Oh no, she isn't. Oh yes, she is. Some real traditional panto shtick in this. And of course, there's the wall with Gareth, which is done beautifully with Cinderella. This classic gag. Done very well. Everybody knows one of my big problems this year with panto is pricing, and with tickets up to £38.50, which I think is too much for a family of 4. However, there are tickets from £18, which I think is about the price panto should be to make it accessible for everyone. It is the backbone of theatre and should always remain affordable. Average tickets are about £33.50, it seems to me, for most performances. which is pushing £130 for a family of 4, which in my view is ridiculous for pantomime, as great as this production may be, and it is. Next year, we get Robin Hood. I've been begging for this show to come for years. It's been amazing to me that it hasn't been here. Will we get Shane Ritchie? Of course, he starred for many years in this show. I just saw it last year in Milton Keynes, and it was really quite wonderful. So we do hope we get Shane next year. That's going to be taking place from the 5th of December through the 10th of January. But don't miss Cinderella if you get the chance to see it at the Theatre Royal, with a really lovely all-star cast. Les Dennis, a legend. Conor McIntyre. You love to hate him from Coronation Street. By the way, some of the gags in this don't work because it's 18 months since they've been in the show, and I think most people have short memories, a bit like Gareth singing Unchained Melody. Do they remember that was his big hit? Do they remember that these two were in Corrie? I'm not sure. Nevertheless, they did a great job, but special nod to Richard Cadell and Suttie for stealing the show with magnetic energy and sensational set pieces worth the price alone. You've been listening to another review by me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. You can check out all of our hundreds of interviews and reviews at www.celebrityradio.biz. Ta-da.